Oscar Wilde, born in 1854, was an Irish playwright, novelist, poet, and convicted homosexual. He was arrested in 1895 for gross indecency and was sentenced to 2 years of hard labor. His conviction of gross indecency was due to his sexual and romantic relationships with Alfred Douglas, the son of the 9th Marquis of Queensberry. Oscar Wilde aided the LGBT+ community with a sense of self, his writings, and his martyrdom through a refusal to hide his true identity. In Oscar Wilde's social life, he was known for his wit and lively personality, often being known and remembered as the King of Wit. He also was known for his sense of style, the feminine sense of style contrasting the more traditionally masculine necessity of the day. Oscar Wilde's best-known play is The Importance of Being Earnest. The Importance of Being Earnest is about a man named Jax, or, in the city, Ernest, and about the mask he wears and his day-to-day life. And it is also about how you should truly be yourself, and being your truest self leads to the best among all else. This mainly resonates with his LGBT+ audience because many people are afraid to be their true selves. Trans people living as the opposite gender, or gay people being afraid to show who they truly love. I was able to experience the pleasure of interviewing Miss Justin Elizabeth Sayer. Before the interview starts, I would like to say that both me and Mix Justin both use they/them pronouns, and we would kindly respect that everyone uses such for us.
Great.
Okay, hi, I'm Sam Pepper, and I am today with the amazing Justin Elizabeth Sayer. Can you please introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. My name's Justin Elizabeth Sayer. I'm a writer and playwright and performer, and those are the things that come up first, I think.
Oh yeah. So I know for many younger LGBT+ people, it's very hard because there has been a loss or diminish of older LGBT+ people in the community, and just seeing LGBT+ people like Oscar Wilde through history, or even for me, just seeing someone like you, just being an older person. I'm not calling you old, I swear. Just
I appreciate it.
Being an older person and not being very young, and being unbashfully queer, and being just happy and allowed to be proud and out. Because while Oscar Wilde was condemned and arrested for his acts as a gay man, he was still a very effeminate and a very outgoing person who always spoke his mind. And he was never trying to hide his gayness, as he was very open about it, yet he was still condemned for his actions. So I wanted to know how you felt about just being able to see queer people in history, especially people like Oscar Wilde.
Well, I think it's really important. I mean, I've written a book about it that just came out in May about queer history, called From Gay to Z, which is a compendium of kind of queer culture. It's always been important to me because I think that, for my generation, so I moved to New York in 1999, when I was 17, and that was kind of the tail end of the AIDS crisis.
Yeah.
So when I was kind of coming up and understanding myself as a queer person, I could see that all my mentors, a lot of my mentors were gone. And I could also see that the people that were left were very deeply affected by this plague that had killed their friends, that had destroyed their own bodies, had done all this stuff. And there was this huge chasm of art that had happened. There was this huge chasm of kind of cultural history that had been brought about because all these people were gone, all these people were missing. And I think a lot of people in my generation, especially, took it upon ourselves to be like, oh, wait a minute, we got to be the bridge back. We got to know about these people, because the stuff that they were doing is really important, and the stuff that they stood for and who they were is really important. and they had a different idea of freedom than we even do. You know, like when you go back and you listen to things that people like Marsha P. Johnson said or Sylvia Rivera, they were radical even for today. They wanted to blow the whole lid off things, and they wanted people to be free, and they wanted people to be seen and accepted. And when we don't honor those voices, when we don't bring them with us, we lose our power, because you and I are a gift to them, a real gift to them. If Oscar Wilde could be here tonight and see what we're talking about, he'd be really proud.
Yeah.
That's a gift. That's an enormous gift. And why not give that back to them? You know, why not give it back to them? And hopefully that energy that you bring along with you of knowing who you are and knowing who they are, you pass that through and you give it to the next queer person and the next. And that someday along the line, some queer kid won't ever feel like you had to feel or I had to feel, because they'll know that they're so deeply connected to so many people, you know?
Yeah. Thank you so much for this.
No problem.
It's been so nice talking to you.
Of course.
I had the pleasure of meeting Justin Elizabeth Sayer when I was working with them on their show, Earnest and the Importance of Being, which is a queer retelling of The Importance of Being Earnest, speaking on the gender roles and how we live in society today. There is one song in Earnest or The Importance of Being named Become Yourself. The lyrics being, become, become, become yourself. The world is waiting for yourself. These lyrics help symbolize the need and the want to express yourself that Oscar Wilde inspires in people. His whole ideal of importance and desire for our world is to be able to be yourself, and the world truly wants you to be yourself. Oscar Wilde not only inspired new creations and works of art like plays and musicals, but he also inspired actors like John Guild or Michael Redgrave, who specifically worked on only Oscar Wilde plays because they were bi and gay actors. He inspired these actors to be their true selves, and in return, they decided to only work on Oscar Wilde plays. Oscar Wilde also continued to write after his arrest, writing stories like The Ballad of Reading Gaol or The Picture of Dorian Gray. These stories are often seen as thinly veiled gay references to talk about his life being a gay man and the condemnation he faces for it. For my conclusion, I thought it would be best for me to sit here and talk to you face to face. Oscar Wilde has impacted my life and many of the people around me. I am overjoyed to see someone like me in the past, someone who is not afraid to be effeminate and outspoken and witty and smart no matter what people said, and someone who is unabashedly gay. We hear how people had to hide themselves, while Oscar Wilde, his only wish and his only desire, and the message he so constantly spread throughout history, is to be yourself. I have often struggled with being able to be myself, truly. But as I grow and as I learn, especially learning more about people like Oscar Wilde, I'm able to be more of myself. Many of you may also notice my flag in the background, and I feel confident being able to show my flag to potentially many people who I do not know, because I have learned and I have grown, and I've learned from Oscar Wilde to be yourself, and though the consequences may be extreme, it is best to be yourself no matter the cost, because hiding yourself is what truly harms you. In conclusion, Oscar Wilde had a pure and incredible sense of self that he wished everyone else could have. Oscar Wilde's truest impact on us is to be yourself and refuse to hide from anyone. Thank you for watching, and please, be yourself.